Okay. It is said we are now live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, Terry's going to give a demonstration of Voicemeeter, uh, using it with the Open Broadcast System and CamStudio. There will be no panelists tonight. Terry's going to do the entire demo. If you have questions, type them into the chat area. He'll take them as he can. We'll go back and answer them all later. And then tomorrow there will actually, at 2 p.m. Eastern, there will actually be a hands-on demonstration. So if you want more in-depth stuff, you can come to that one, or it will also be recorded and you can watch, the recorded video. And now, here is Terry and his demo.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So I guess I'm blue screened, I guess. Well, hi everybody. This actually we're also going to cover, in fact, cover first using this as the audio source for a Hangout on Air too, or a regular Hangout. And so the software. Let me go ahead so you're not looking at my face this whole time. This is about software. This isn't about how great I look in this blue T-shirt. So let me see if I can get this thing to open up and switch screens. Let's see. There we go. And share this. Here's the this is the actual website, and I pasted the link in the event page. It's at vb-audio.pages-perso/orange.fr/voicemeter. That's a lot to know. So click the link in the event. And it's a French programmer has developed this and has provided it to the planet for free. He also develops high-end plugins for audio use, for use in digital audio workstations and stuff, and a lot of cool test stuff for audio use. He's a masterful programmer, and he's given us this thing. It's just super. Plus, he just recently added a feature that makes it so you don't need an extra plugin to use this with high-end digital audio workstation software. So it supports ASIO, A-S-I-O, which is the really high-end audio with like no delay at all. Well, now that supports right out of the box. So here we are on his website, and it shows a little bit of a picture of the thing. And as he says, mix your voice and video game audio on Skype and more. Well, or on Google Hangout on Air and more. So the same way that Skype works is how the Google Hangout on Air will work. Now, say, Andrew, do you know if you can share the can you share the settings that you have in a Hangout? I wonder. Just wondering. Oh, you muted yourself. You're muted.
You mean the camera and voice settings or mic settings or whatever?
Yeah, your own settings. Maybe by sharing entire screen. Let me try it that way.
Okay, hang on.
I'll share entire screen. I'm going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now you should be seeing my entire screen. Okay, and there's Andrew in the middle. And you see the little gear settings thing here? Did that show up?
Yes.
It did? Okay, cool. You see I got my Logitech webcam, and here's Voicemeeter selected as both the output and the input device, okay? And and that's independent of what I have my system settings set for, but you won't get the results that you want from as sharing it, sharing system sounds. You can get Skype audio into it and stuff, but if you wanted music from a music player or some other system sounds like from a game, then you would want to have Voicemeeter also set up as the default system playback and recording device, and I'll show you that in a second. But as you see, I'm talking to you right now and hearing you through the Voicemeeter output and input, okay? And so that's awesome. Awesome, total cool. All right, so let's switch back to the other window. Let's see. I have a cat trying to get my attention. Must know that I'm online. Yes, my darling. Yes. Come over here. So noisy. So, so as they mentioned, you can do a. Oh, I know why he's upset because I've got the lights where he usually likes to sit. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. You'll just have to sit up here instead. Life with cats. I got 7 indoor cats, so little stuff I have to put up with, and I don't mind a bit. They're wonderful. Okay. This again is the website. They show a bunch of features, how you can mix headsets, you can do all these things. It's a virtual audio mixer. It lets you bring in a headset, a hardware player. I love how they show a reel-to-reel tape recorder. A player app like a Windows Media Player or anything else. And you can monitor out, you can put out the A, you can go to 2 outputs. You got an A1 and A2 for the outputs, and you can go to a PC speaker and a headset at the same time, which you normally Windows, when you plug in a headset, it turns off your speaker output on the back. So this way you can actually output to an external room. You can have speakers. One cool thing he likes to point out is that you can also do you can be listening to your game in surround sound, and it'll mix it down to stereo for you to monitor or send the audio, the sound out to your friends. So but the B is the virtual output, and that's how you get it into Skype and everything else. Is you can send it right out as the virtual out, which is, remember I said it as the default playback and recording device, and so that out B is what sends it out as the default playback device and sends it out there, so you can pick it up with Skype or Hangout on Air, as you saw. Okay, so this is awesome because it lets you bring in all kinds of different sources into your thing. You can bring in like how in they have the effects section in the Google Hangouts. You can have your own effects that you play. You can have go get one of those free gigantic collections of sound effects that you see a lot of people offering on the net right now. You could load those in and just double click on one and play the sound on your media player as a special effect, or you could put together a bunch of effects in a stream and do your own radio drama. I mean, this is awesome because without having to use any kind of jumping through hoops with stereo mix and all, you're able to get this all happening. Plus, because you're sending it to separate outputs, you don't have to send your microphone out to your headset. Well, your microphone still goes out to the output to the world, okay? So I'm not hearing my voice over the headset because it would make a delay, and or even an echo. In fact, when I first came on with Andrew, I had my I forgot to turn off the B output for that, and I think you're hearing probably hearing an echo. Let's see. Are you hearing an echo now? Hearing an echo? Yeah. Huh? Oh, Andrew muted himself again. You don't have to mute.
Yeah.
Hearing an echo? Yeah. Okay. So that's because the way I've routed it, but I can turn that off. I can make it so there's no issues with that. Okay, so back to this, and notice the ASIO connection. So all these different uses that you can use it for. You can read this site. It'll give you some ideas. I hope I'm giving you some inspiration right now. But the fact that it's got 2 hardware inputs, that can be your microphone and a line in, for instance, and a virtual output that goes out to this program used as your virtual audio. Not as your virtual, as your actual hardware output device, your default is what I'm trying to say, and the independent control over all the volumes and over the volumes of the outputs. It's just tremendous. Plus, you have these neat widgets. You can put it to mono. You can change. You can compress it a little bit. You can compress your mic for audibility. YouTube already does that with the voice setting, but if you were doing a regular live broadcast, live YouTube Live type stream, that's not compressed, and you could compress it this way. It's a rudimentary little voice compressor. Very nice. And you also have on the virtual input, you have bass middle, and treble controls over the music that's coming in. So you could cut out all of the mid-range so that you can talk over the music without, because your voice is in the mid-range. In the music, you can cut out all the mid-range so it's not interfering with each other. Kind of carve out a hole for your voice, see? That way you can have music playing and it's still intelligible because the voice is not competing in any way with that. So this is full-featured and free. This is quite amazing. Now you can make a donation, and I recommend doing some kind of a donation thing for this fellow. It's really, really super. $10 translates to about $12, $13 here. 25 is about $28 to $30. Okay, in euros, euro to US, and you go and you get yourself the program, and also a little ways further down you get the user manual, which has got all kinds of really cool stuff. It shows in a manual form, and I'm going to show you that, by the way. It shows in a manual form what the settings are for doing Skype and Google Voice and putting 2 headsets on and stuff like that and doing a conference call. And you can run up to 8 tracks in this thing. It's crazy. I mean, just incredible. You also see some videos down here at the bottom, and I'm happy to say that one of these is mine. And and these are great videos by a fellow that actually fell upon this thing looking for something to be able to record his Morse code practice with friends, because he's a ham. And he made some great videos on how to use this stuff. And some other people, a lot of people are becoming fans and are contributing videos for the use of this thing. So again, you want to get the user manual and all that kind of stuff. So in fact, here I'll go ahead and I'll paste the user manual, copy link address, and go ahead and reopen this event page. There we go. There we go. Okay, I just pasted that into the event page. I probably should leave open so it doesn't do all that stalling when it opens again. All right, so let's get to the actual program. So I'm going to switch over here and show the full screen. Let's see, there you go. Okay, I had you hidden behind another screen. There we are. If you were gesticulating madly, I didn't see you. Good.
I wasn't.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to share the actual Voicemeeter screen now. And so this here is the program itself in action. Okay, so you can see that my meter is running. I've got the hardware input. I've got my mic selected here, and I've got an output A selected as my headset, which is how I'm hearing Andrew. Okay, and I don't have a B selected, well, an A2 as they call it, an A1 and A2, and then the B is outputting out to you guys. So you'll see, say something, Andrew, unmuted, and you'll see this meter work.
Okay, yeah, there it goes, way up.
See,
Makes me look like Beverly Hills.
Yep, and that's coming in here on this side, you see, under the virtual input. And so now the way you select this thing and make it the default device, I'm going to have to stop sharing and probably go full screen for this one. Or let's see, maybe I could just do it. Yeah, I'll do it full screen. Entire screen. There we go. Now you see down here in the very bottom right, and oh, I should only zoom it turned on here. There we go. Down here in the bottom right, you see that. Oh, come on, get out of there. I don't want to see what internet access I've got. There we are. You've got the little speaker icon, and because I'm hovering over it, it's giving me things. Okay, so you have the little speaker icon there, and what you do is you right-click on that thing, like I'm about to do, and you select either playback devices or recording devices. Okay, and let's see if I can get it to stay. Nope, I can't get it to stay that way. And so let's go ahead and go to playback devices. And now you see that over here. Is that big enough, or no? I'll make that full screen too. Okay, so let me stop sharing, reshare, and share. All right, so now you see this should be filling the whole screen, correct? Is it filling the whole screen? Okay, and you'll see down here, Voicemeeter input, and I've got the little green check mark next to it. It says after you install it and restart your computer, this appears in here under Playback tab. You right-click on it and you set it as the default device. Okay, I would also set it as the default communication device, frankly. So that's what I'm going to do, in fact. So that way you don't have other inputs competing, where it's thinking, oh, I plugged in another device, or I got another device active, and so it starts muting this audio. Okay, you ever notice how that happens with Skype? Your audio volume goes down when you get a call. Well, but that's partially because of having a communications device. Same thing in recording. You want to have as the input, these are the recording devices. You right-click and make that the thing, and I'm going to make that default communication device also. So now it's playback and recording. Now it really doesn't matter because entirely, I mean, if you didn't do this, Skype would still work, and so would Hangouts, okay? But the old Messenger style chat things that came with AOL Messenger and MSN's Messenger, back when they used to be more popular, I guess, they relied on what the setting was for the communication device more, whereas Skype's audio and Hangouts audio is completely independent. Anyhow, you can see how I got my webcam's mic, and here's my input from my headset, but that's all output, and all coming into the Voicemeeter, and that's what the output, this is coming in. Its output is the recording input. Get it? So it's my microphone. But the cool thing is that any system audio that happens to be around is also part of this. Okay? So so if I play a media player, it's also going to come into the Voicemeeter, into this virtual input, and go out wherever I tell it to go. Right now, I have it just going to my A headset. I don't have it going to the output. I'm about to change that, though. All right, so let's go ahead and stop sharing that, and get back to sharing the. Well, actually, let me show you a quick setup for the Skype. Why not? Right now, by the way, I have this virtual input going to the A output, which is to my headset at the moment, my earphones. Okay. Normally, I would have this set to the B and have it going to the virtual output. But if I did that right now, because I have Andrew coming in, it would repeat his voice going back out again. So because of the fact that I'm using this as the input and output for this show, okay? So it would be redundant, in other words. But if I were bringing in a Skype call, I would bring that in through here and send it to the B channel, which is the output to the show. So if I were trying to capture a Skype conversation, I would do it that way. So, oh, here I am pointing at stuff. I don't even have anything open. So let me just share entire screen again. All right, so here I have the entire screen. Like I was saying, the B is this slider here that goes to the virtual output. That's the equivalent of that recording device right here. Okay, and the A is whatever device I want to send it to, independent of this, independent of my playback devices. It's sending it to any of these devices, both an A channel, which right now I have my headset, and the A2 channel, which I could have like my speaker setup system, for instance, or another something going to another recorder. I could be sending it to my Scarlett USB input, and be recording it using Audacity at the same time, and so So there's all these different routing capabilities that you have as a result. So let's open up Skype, and I'll open up its under the call audio settings, and you see it's got microphone. It's right now set to my Logitech, okay? And you can see the meter moving because it's independent of Windows Audio and it's independent of Voicemeeter at this point. But I can grab my output from the Voicemeeter output, and now that is where the output's coming from. So now if I wanted to play something, some music for my friends that I'm talking to over Skype, they can hear it. If I wanted to play a media player playing anything for my friends on Skype, they can hear the audio coming out of here. And notice they're also seeing my microphone. I can mute that mic just by turning off this, turning off the beat right now. Here, you're going to hear it muted. Ready? How amazing! I'm so surprised that happened. Okay, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, back to audio settings. Now, for speakers output, I would want to be monitoring it, not through the headset. I would be monitoring it also through Voicemeeter, so I could control how I was going to, move the speaker output. So, you see the meter working over here because I just played the demo ring. And by the way, this is real cruelty even using Skype, the Skype ring as a demo, because when I did it before, a whole bunch of, on another video I made, a whole bunch of people remarked how they immediately went to answer their phone while listening to the video. So now Andrew's muted, so it's safe for me to do this now, but I'm going to go ahead and activate the beast so you can hear. There, I'm really cruel now. Okay, so I stopped it now. So hopefully, hey, no, it's not your phone. Okay, there we go. Helped everybody out. So, oh, by the way, I'm not looking at my, I stopped looking at my little things. A lot of buffering. It's you. Michael Daniel says there's a lot of buffering. I don't know what that means. What does that mean exactly, a lot of buffering?
It means that little circle going around and round and round, and you don't hear anything. And there is a lot of it going on the event page, but not apparently here inside the panel.
Oh, okay. Well, we've just got hit with a gigantic solar event, a CME flare event, glanced the planet today. Well, it started right about now, and it's going through all day tomorrow. It's going to be inundating us with solar flare stuff, so it could be that. So anyhow, so now you see that by setting up Voicemeeter's output and input on Skype, setting Skype up to use that, I can now route the sound and route that through this thing and have independent control through these sliders of what kind of audio gets out to my folks out there. Now, this isn't the only way that I can use this. Say I don't want them to hear everything that I'm putting out to the HOA, or like I've got Andrew coming in on, and I was concerned about the echo, the feedback loop. I can set this to other things, like to a line in or something, and set these outputs to those. See, line out, and I think pretty sure that's how it worked, or maybe it was this one. I haven't fooled with that much yet, but you can also do some fiddling where you route some of the signals as a result of Skype's control, and the same thing goes with the Hangouts on Air. You can use those to do some alternative audio routing, okay? Routing, and so use that as an alternative for how things go. So you can do some really fancy things, is what I'm trying to get to. You can do some things that are way beyond what you would, just pretty much any kind of routing that you can do, that you can imagine. You already have the two inputs for hardware inputs, and so that right there is almost overkill. because I've yet to even use the second hardware input. I could select my let's go ahead and share the screen. Say I selected my Scarlett, which is a USB device. That's got my whole synthesizer rig playing over it, coming in through that. So I could be playing back MIDI files and letting people hear live a MIDI file that I'm playing where it's actually being created by the synth rig and route the audio out while I'm talking, at the same time that I'm talking. So I can be talking about what I'm doing on the synth rig and have people hearing it. I could have my camera, I could be roaming around with my camera and showing them what settings I'm doing and stuff like that and how I'm working with stuff. But I could, consequently, I could have both my mic and my entire synthesizer rig as audio sources at the same time. And that's an external input. My synth rig is not an internal input. It's an external input. So, because that's a USB, one of those USB interfaces. It's high end. It's amazingly high end for $150 that it costs. It's a crazy good piece of equipment made by Focusrite, Scarlett 2i2. And same thing that you'll see Dan McDermott's got two of. But all the stuff done through the virtual input, you can set that at whatever sampling rate you want. Okay, so let me just unshare again and show you what I mean by the sampling rates. And I'm going to show the sound settings again. If I go in to the Voicemeeter advanced settings, you'll see that there's a little drop down. It lets me set the normal 16-bit 44.1 hertz CD quality, which is what all CDs are recorded in. It's the standard audio output for most things, but you're not limited to that. Look at what you can do. You can select any of these quality settings all the way up to 192 hertz sample rate. Crazy. Okay,
Terry, that's none of that is showing.
Oh, is it because it's scrolls off?
Yeah. Well, apparently it's an overlay of something type, because all we're seeing is that the actual playback recording sounds communications.
Oh, really?
Thing,
okay,
yeah.
Let me try sharing instead. Just share whole full screen and see if that works. Okay, and yeah, it looks like the show's up there. Are you seeing that? That I zoomed in?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about when I go to advanced? It should show 16-bit 44.1.
Yes, that we see.
Okay. Okay, great. So this is what you drop down. It's under the advanced tab, and you have all of these different sample rates and bit depths. So you can go 16-bit or 24-bit, which is standards, and all the way up to, well, really, 96 is plenty huge enough, and most devices only support up to that anyway. My Scarlett only supports up to 48, I think. But that's still a higher end, it's a higher quality audio, and if you have any devices that support these higher levels, it does. Now, of course, it depends on the original material too. I mean, you can't just load up your media player and say, oh, I'm going to upgrade, I'm going to send out this audio at 192 hertz. Yeah, really, knock their socks off. No, because it was recorded at, the standard 16-bit 44.1. Where it's recorded at, it's going to stay that quality. You can downgrade the quality, but you can't upgrade the quality. It's going to be what it is. But if you've got recordings that are that higher quality, you can stream them or get them into your recordings at this higher quality. That is, you can use the Voicemeeter program at that setting. Okay, so it gives you enough capabilities. If I was using the synth setup, for instance, and I've got 24-bit, 4800, capability on that, why not set it to that? So I'm putting out, because it's all original sound, and the synth sounds are at that quality, and it's actually going through an analog mixer too, so I'd be delivering the best possible quality that the rig could offer, could deliver, and I may as well set it to that then. But so that's oh, and I should mention, if you've got in the recording devices, if you've got some microphones and you've got the listen tab, make sure listen to this device is not used. A lot of people that are going to use this video are used to use stereo mix. Okay, they're accustomed to using I have a video up online that shows how to use stereo mix as an input, and which I'm not even showing here because Voicemeeter kind of supplants it. But to make the trick work, that getting your microphone included, you go in here to the mic, into the listen tab, and you listen to this device, and you send it to your analog speakers output, and that's how that trick works. Otherwise, it doesn't work. If you did do that, and you were from one of my old videos, go back into the mic settings and turn off that listen to tab. Get rid of it, okay? And because it'll interfere with the quality, okay? He mentions that in the manual. So I'm still at full screen, so I can show the manual. Here's this great manual, and the manual is quite thorough. It has a step-by-step in here. He starts out with setting an output device because you have to have an A1 output, or the program will crash. So you set an A1 output right away. He may have actually fixed that by now. He said he was going to make it so it didn't crash the program. But nonetheless, nothing's going to happen if you don't have at least one output. And so he has you set the output first, then select an input device, like my microphone on my headset. And then monitor in real time by clicking the output and sending it out to things. Okay, so you sending it to A and B in this case, which sends it to both of these output sliders. Step 3 is use Voicemeeter as virtual input on a device by making sure both of these are set. The input, the playback, and recording are both set to the default. And so now you have all that. And it's multi-channel, so you can actually listen to a 5.1 audio and still be getting your signal. Look at this, all 5 outputs are mixed in here, and you can still mix them together to send out correctly, where you can downsample them. You can mix down just for the output. You can mix all 5 channels down to the 2 channels that you're going to need using this software. This is free, folks. This is free. This is amazing. I can't even believe that this is free. And it's all digital quality. And as I showed you, as high a digital quality as you could possibly support on your computer. Then you send it out to the Skype output. It repeats what I showed you in this. So you don't have to watch the whole video all the time when you want to just get back to seeing this. I'm more or less being kind of a champion of this software in this video and not expecting you to just go ahead and do step-by-step watching this over and over. The manual does a great job of running you through the step-by-step to get started. Okay, so you would set the Voicemeeter as the microphone input, and you can set it as the output too, as the speakers. You might just want to leave it the way it is, sending it right to your headset, because it'll mix in, and you'll be able to hear it. It won't even be part of the mix in there. In fact, I could have done that with Andrew's, so I didn't have to worry about his voice becoming part of the mix when I was doing the Skype demo, just by setting my HOA setting so that my speaker was his, was coming right to my headset.
Terry, I don't know whether you saw Michael's comment or not.
No.
He says so you can play a sound from your computer and still have talking going on in the Hangout and not have echo? Question mark.
Correct.
Give me an example of settings for this, please.
That's what I just did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As long as you just because it has separate two inputs for hardware devices, one of those being your microphone, and another input for that sound coming in from your media player.
Okay.
You can then steer them where those are going to go, and through the A and the B, because the A is the usually your monitoring device. Okay. B is usually the output device. Usually, it's your virtual output. It's the same thing as listening to your system. Okay. So if you were using any kind of system audio as the source, that's the same thing. So you would be getting your audio from the B slider, and you can turn it, fade it down, and all that kind of stuff, and fade it up. You can adjust. You can have different volumes depending. So you can be monitoring at a lower or higher volume than your output is, because you don't want to be redlining your output. But the main thing is how you manipulate the A and B buttons. You see, in this case, they've got A on all three, so all three are going to monitor. Whereas the B means just the mic, but not this input. And the virtual input, meaning the system sounds, are going out to the show, okay, in the second slider. The B one is always the second slider, which is usually out to the show. In my case, I've got it set up right now. In fact, let me go back to here and change my... oh, okay, you can see me now. As you can see, I'm not bothering to put my headset out to my monitor because there would be a delay. There would be that annoying delay that sounds almost like it's an echo, but it's a delay. You're hearing your voice played back to you, and it's a little bit late, and that's because of the slowness of Windows audio system. Okay? It's called latency, technically. Latency means basically it just means it's not instant. Latency is the opposite of instant, and how much latency you have is how far it veers from instant. So, and it's usually measured in milliseconds. When I put on the thing before, so you could hear the echo, like when you could hear the echo coming through, that's you're hearing the actual amount of latency of my basic Windows system. Now, the fact that he lets you use those ASIO drivers also, and he shows you that in the manual, you could actually just about eliminate the latency and even monitor your headset, monitor your headset microphone over your headset, and it wouldn't be annoying because the ASIO hardware type of drivers almost eliminate that delay. But the basic Windows audio system has a lot of latency. It's a very slow, pokey system because they try to shunt it through so much processing, and through this little controlling window and all that stuff. So it really slows things down. There's a few different types of settings in here. Let me go to the hardware too. You see there's also WDM, that's your basic Windows audio, okay? KS is a lower level, and MME is pretty much the same as the WDM. MME is the original Windows 98 audio system that's still in your computer, okay? It's the multimedia something. I forget what the E stands for right now. But that's the original. This is the WDM has been in since Windows 7, I think. KS is a lower level thing that started in Windows 7 also, and but it's not as low level as the ASIO. And I didn't install the ASIO driver, so you don't see any of those listed. But if I did, I would see my Scarlett, because that's an ASIO device. I would see that in the list as an ASIO device. But that's a deeper reading, and that's once you're already comfortable with the basic setup of this thing. Maybe I'll do another demo on getting the ASIO to work, or we can talk about that on Friday's show with the hands-on stuff. Anybody that really wants to do that. I will be doing a show. There's no doubt I will be doing a show on using the ASIO, because I know we have several friends that are doing live shows that want to be able to use this mixer and in their live show and have the monitoring and everything and all the luxuries that the ASIO system, plus they've got an ASIO input interface, and they want to be able to use this. So I will be doing a show on that. But this was more or less, like I said, to champion the fact that this even exists and is pretty darn easy to set up and use. I mean, when really all you're doing is setting your system settings over here, the playback devices and recording devices to be have that as the default. And then you go ahead and you select your hardware input and your output. Well, he has you set the output first, because otherwise it'll crash. And set an input, and then set the thing to the default so that you can use these virtual inputs. Okay? So that's pretty much the big steps. And I'm just going to bring back that slide of his. Here's the little part about the connecting the ASIO, which you can start bringing in the ASIO devices. I think you still need another driver with that, but I have to try this out, like I say. And then he shows some case studies, how to talk and send music same time on Skype. Same thing, same rules will apply in Hangouts on Air. But as I showed you, you can bring a Skype call into a Hangout on Air, because you heard me ring the bell, and and so I could have gone real fancy, I suppose, and actually pulled up Skype. And who's the demo call? There you go, Echo Sound Test Service. Want me to call him? Shall I call him and see if all this works? Why not? So let's see. Okay, are you hearing this? Oh, I don't have it. Nope. Wait, I forgot. I have to be quiet, Andrew, or you'll hear yourself an echo. There we go. Okay. I forgot to turn the B on.
Hello, welcome to Skype call testing service. After the beep, please record a message. Afterwards, your message will be played back to you.
Oh, hello. We're doing a demo on using Voicemeeter and Skype and Hangouts on Air and everything else in the entire world. I think I have the kitchen sink involved in this thing. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, hello. We're doing a demo on using Voicemeeter and Skype and Hangouts on Air and everything else in the entire world. I think I have the kitchen sink involved in this thing. Isn't that wonderful?
If you are able to hear your own voice, then you have configured Skype correctly. If you hear this message, but not your own voice, then something is wrong with your audio recording settings.
Oh, I hope not.
Please check your microphone and microphone settings or visit skype.com for more help. Thank you for using the Skype call testing service. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, so was that cool or what? Okay, I think we just hit the cool mark. Okay, so there you go. And like I say, there's ways that I could set this thing up so that I wouldn't have to worry about telling Andrew to not talk while I was playing that, and I could probably route things around so that I could leave the B on all the time and just have my background sounds, and still be able to hear Andrew. Because actually, if we're in an HOA, we can already all hear each other. So there's no need for me to send that sound back out into the system, you see. I just need to be able to hear it myself. So most likely, if I just simply went to my gear, instead of sending this to Voicemeeter, with the output, the speakers, instead of sending that to Voicemeeter, sent it to my headset. Then I could just, oh, I'm sorry, that's the input. There we go. And sent that to my headset, I'd still be able to hear Andrew talking, but that audio wouldn't wind up going back out into the system to the HOA, just my microphone would. But right now I have my mic. See, my mic's the only thing going out to the system, but when I brought in the external, the system audio, I had to turn that on. So, because this is whatever the system audio is. But it's pretty neat. I'm sure there's other configurations and cool ways that we can be using this thing. So, so we'll be fooling around with that, looking for other ways that we can really, try to break this thing. So we've been going for 45 minutes. I think we covered a whole lot of the details and gone pretty deep into it. So we stopped sharing, and so if anyone's got any immediate questions, type them in. I don't see anything going on over here. I got my laptop running, so I can't see questions. But the main thing is I want people to realize it's non-threatening for the most part. Once you get the hang of the fact that you've got the B is what goes out to the system, and the A is what goes to either one of these hardware outputs like your headset and speakers, then it becomes easy. The fact that you've got these mix down darn buttons, you can take a 5.1 CD recording if your computer is capable of playing those. And you'd see all the inputs in here, and you just hit the mix down button. Now you're monitoring in stereo, two-channel stereo. But leave this one off, and you're monitoring in surround sound in your room, where you hit this mix down, and your audience on the HOA is hearing it nicely mixed down to stereo. Okay? So when I finally get to the point of mixing my keyboard stuff in 5.1 surround sound, well, I'll sit here and just wallow in how great it sounds in surround sound while sending you a meager two-channel mix, and you can write me angry letters. No, when it gets to that point, don't worry. They'll be.
Sheila's got a question.
Okay.
So you can set an outside person voice helping with the presentation, and the HOA host only can hear that voice?
What was that?
So you can set an outside person voice, parentheses, helping with the presentation, and the HOA host only can hear that voice.
Oh, well, anything that's coming into the system audio. Yes, you can make it so only, like I'm only hearing you, for instance, right now. It's not being sent back out to the system. So if you had someone on a Skype call or on another Hangout who's like being your assistant, remember they can be running a Hangout simultaneously. Then you can hear them, and like I said, there's never any reason in a Hangout to send the audio that you're getting in anywhere but to your monitor. So that's why I have it set to A. But if I did want, but again, I could set this setting so that my speakers were right to my headset and hear you. In fact, let's test that right now. I don't think it'll break. But I'll set this to speakers, and you say something, Andrew. Let me see if I hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
It seems to be still coming in through here, though. Yeah, it is. So this didn't send it exclusively to the speakers, to the headset. It doesn't look like it anyway.
Oh, okay.
But we'll have to mess around with that and see if that can be circumvented.
You know you're not screen sharing, right?
Oh, no, I didn't. Here we go. Let me hit cancel. All right. So what I just did. Where's the Hangout screen? All right. Do you see the Hangout? Yes. What I did is I hit the little doodad and I set this thing to speakers to my headset. And I was hoping that what would happen was that it would get to my headset but not go to the system audio. But go ahead and say something, Andrew. And,
okay.
Well, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. But at least the echo's not. Hello, where did Terry go? Whoa, Terry. I think we may have lost Terry. That's not good. That's not good at all. Let me try and get him back in here. I just sent him the link. He should be returning shortly. There he is. Okay. We have his picture. His computer's probably restarting. If anybody's got any other questions and want to type them in, we'll have them ready when he comes back. Oh, now he's in here twice.
I hung up on myself.
I see. Okay. I have done that on occasion.
Yeah. I hit the close button when I meant to. I hit the close button of the whole darn thing when I just meant to hit cancel. So now you have two of me showing up in here for some reason.
Yes.
See if you can kick the other one of me out. It's probably using a bandwidth.
Okay, let's go here and we'll say eject that one.
Go away.
Well,
It won't eject.
no, apparently not.
Maybe I have to come back in as that one. Here, eject this one. I'll come back in
Okay,
as that one.
okay, I will eject this one then. Let's see. Okay, this one I can eject. There we go. Okay. Terry will be returning momentarily, I hope. I see his picture, but I don't see him yet. This interlude is brought to you by Fumble Fingers Terry. He'll kill me when he gets back. Anyway, I hope you all are having fun and understanding half of this. I will admit that most of it is over my head. I'm not really techie, but I know a lot of people are interested in this, and Terry has now rejoined us, it would seem, and he will be here momentarily. I've got his picture up, but I don't see him yet. So I don't know what the problem is here. Okay. No, Sheila. Latency is a $12.50 word. It doesn't really classify as a $15 word. At least not in my part of the South. Sorry. Okay, here you are back again. Now we have him twice. Okay,
I
and
couldn't get rid of it.
okay, let me try again. Eject. Okay, now you're gone.
Okay, good.
There you
I don't know what was crazy stuff. Sorry about that, folks. We were just I was a little bit too click crazy. It's my fault. I clicked the wrong thing. Anyway, so any more questions come in? No, look like I haven't seen a thing.
No, I haven't seen anything.
All right. Well, we covered the basis.
The
So
basic.
yeah. So I think we actually might keep this under an hour for once, and say,
Yeah, we
hey, if
could.
anybody that's stuck around for more stuff, you're a glutton for punishment. What do you think? You should have left a long time ago when Terry clicked the wrong button. Anyway, sorry. Sorry.
What,
It's terrible.
now you mentioned CamStudio and Open
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Broadcast. Are you going?
I did. Mm-hmm. So let me go ahead and show. There's a few programs that work really well with all of this, and CamStudio is one. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Well, I can share this CamStudio. Okay. Is that showing up as the whole thing? No, or is it just chopped again? Um,
No, it's chopped.
okay. Well, I guess that doesn't work so great as I would pretty much have to do entire screen. Okay. All right. Well, there's entire screen. This is CamStudio. It can be gotten through simple. I put the link up there, camstudio.org, and you can download it there. And we did remove. There was a installer that was very intrusive, and people were getting a lot of virus warnings. If you get that, we removed it temporarily. I don't know how long it's going to be gone. But I just got a YouTube writer told me that it's gone. I don't know how long that's for. If you're behind in a business or your virus thing tells you can't download it, instead of going to camstudio.org, go to sourceforge.net/projects/camstudio and the files. And the version that's in the stable folder here doesn't use that installer. It's the previous version, but it works fine. Okay? Works fine. There wasn't really anything that got fixed in the more recent version that was of any importance. It didn't even really get fixed because the programmer that we had left some test code behind that made the fix we made was for the Minecraft recorders who wanted to be able to use their function buttons and their F keys. And so he fixed that, but then he left the test code behind. So when you hit a function button, you got to see the test screen. And so it still was doing that. So it's kind of a waste. This version here works great. 2.7 R316 works great. Heck, so does the original version 2.0. It doesn't have some of the really nice features that 2.7 has. The other program that you can use with this Voicemeeter that already has some really nice audio setup things, but it's just blown out of the water when you use the OBS. I mean the Voicemeeter is obsproject.com. And OBS, this is for people that are going to stream out to a YouTube live type of a thing. Does not have a virtual camera for HOAs, but it for doing streaming, now you can do great audio mixes. And remember, everybody, the audio is 90% of the video. It's more than that, maybe 95%. You want to have the audio always be as high quality as possible, and this gives you a chance to do some really cool stuff with your audio, and especially if you're doing live shows that involve music and musicians and interviews with musicians and you're playing their cuts and all that stuff. Wow, this gives you so much ease and capability. The fact that Voicemeeter lets you change the volume and do fades and do all that kind of stuff live while you're doing the show is just too much. It's just incredible. So anyways, OBS will let you select the Voicemeeter because it's your system audio. Lets you select it as your input and output devices. You can, if you got the ability to use something like Wirecast, Telestream, Wirecast. You can. Their stuff is kind of expensive, okay. It's professional level stuff, okay. The Wirecast products. However, see they also make ScreenFlow for the Mac. I'm surprised they don't show it in here. If you go to I have a YouTube video that shows how to get the Wirecast version made for YouTube for free. Okay, so and I'm really surprised they don't show that in here. But there is a YouTube, there's a Wirecast for YouTube, and it has a virtual microphone type of a function, so that you can get its video, all the mixing that you do, similar to Minicam. You can get all that stuff into your video too. So it's a virtual webcam or virtual camera, but you use that in conjunction with something like Voicemeeter, and you are talking totally on steroids, okay? And another one, gosh, what's that other recording app that's out there? I've never played with it. It's another streaming thing. Oh, the name of it escapes me. But there's others. But anything that involves doing this kind of thing is going to be great. Nice thing about OBS, by the way, I should mention, is the fact that it's not just for streaming. So if you're not just doing live shows, but you're doing recordings, like all I ever used to do was recorded shows, and actually it's just something more comfortable about doing a recorded show because you can't have flub ups like we had tonight in our live show, and you can rehearse. You can do a few takes and use the best one and upload that to YouTube. But this way, you can record using CamStudio or using open broadcast software and having all this control with the audio while you're doing the recording and just recreating great shows. Okay, so and of course, really in any audio project that you're working on, say you're using Audacity. Audacity is a free software that, and don't use the first link. Go to SourceForge, get it at SourceForge. It's free. It's open source. They have a a version of an MP3 decoder, encoder, a codec that lets you create MP3s that you can get separate from the site. They show you where to go and see other Audacity downloads, all that. You hunt around. You'll see in here they show you where to get the MP3 thing, and also FLAC and all those different types of formats. But this is a great little multi-track recording software that's made for Windows and several other. It works, I think, also on Mac and on Linux. Incredibly popular on Linux. So again, as your input thing, you can have this wonderful mixer controlling your input and your fades and all for recording podcasts and doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is the ultimate live podcast thing. You can have your music for your what do they call that, intro music, and the under music, there's pads or something. There's a word.
Yeah, there's a word, but I forget what
yeah.
it is.
But you can have all that stuff on on a separate input and be fading it up and down, and while you got your microphone coming in, high quality mic over here, and your pads, bringing up and down, and or they call it, I think it's beds actually. Yeah, music bed. I don't know. Don't ask me. But this is another great little piece of software if you're not even doing video. And of course, there's all those great video apps that are out there that are free, like Lightworks. It's lwks.com. lwks.com, yeah. And they have a download that's free. That's for Linux, Windows, and Mac. But of course, Voicemeeter is just for Windows. But if you're using Windows, you can get the 64-bit or the 32-bit of Lightworks for Windows and use it for free. Okay, ta-da! And then if you want the really cool feature, the deep features that a professional video producer would need, of specialized codecs and compression systems and stuff, only the pros in broadcasting are going to need that, and they know that, and they give the rest of the world this wonderful editing program for free. Another deal where you can bring your audio in using this wonderful mixer and getting stellar audio product. Okay, so you got a little audio production station right here. We're always putting all of this emphasis. Oh, look at that! It tells me all this stuff about my system settings. I didn't know that. Where did I click on? I get that. Oh, I clicked on. If you click on the meter, it tells you all about your system settings. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yep. So, but yeah, like I say, we're always focused on the video and on the streaming and the tech behind making an HOA. But really, more emphasis needs to be put on the tech behind making the sound really cool. And this makes that possible, and it does it for free. And it's just a real debt of gratitude we all owe the fellow that programmed this and made this available to us. And so, like I say, make a donation and really support them in this effort. Now, I guess to close, I should mention that Thursday we're going to let me stop sharing. Thursdays we're going to be doing regular programming. Initially we were doing it at 9 o'clock. We did a show at 9. But I know there's some rumblings out there in the east coast of Europe where they would love us to do all the shows at 2 o'clock. And I just might break down and do a 2 o'clock. What do you think, Andrew? I mean,
well, we'll do one tomorrow and see how it goes.
The reason why I'm thinking to go with the 2 o'clock even on Thursdays is that these are recorded shows, and anybody can watch these at their leisure. They're
That's
not.
true.
We don't have people in the film strip, but that's also the reason why it's not as important to do them at 2 o'clock necessarily either. Except that it gives people in Europe a chance to see more of a chance to actually get to the show and even get to the recording.
That's a good point. That's a good
several
point.
hours. Yeah, but 9 hours, or no, 6 hours.
Yeah, well,
7 hours.
I'd have no trouble in moving it, to 2 o'clock on Thursday, and then if you want to do the 2 o'clock hands-on thing on Friday, afterwards, we can do that.
Yeah, so we'll put that. Put your vote in the events thing, whether you want us to do the Thursday tutorial shows at 2 o'clock also.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we'll just stick with the 9.
And then after the live part of it, we can end the broadcast, and then anybody that's here we can bring up into the film script and have like a green room thing, afterwards.
Yeah.
If they want to discuss something else or need details or whatever.
Right.
You know.
Right. We usually do an after recording party. So after the broadcast is ended, you can type into the events and ask to be let in as a film strip person and just be part of a regular hangout. It's not being recorded.
Yeah, basically what we'll do is we'll do this at 2, and then when this is over, we'll slide into the green room thing, and that'll be the regular user-to-user that used to be open at 2 where anybody could just come in. And
okay.
I can just put the link up there, and we'll go to a new hangout, but, that way everybody can come in, not just people that were here to be invited in,
Yeah. But remember, Friday, too, we're going to do the live thing. So it's open for people to come right in.
Yeah.
I know that if you're in the United States and you happen to be working during that time, you're going to be frustrated and say, what the heck? I can't come into the thumbnails on Fridays at 2? Are you kidding me? Yeah, Terry Brittany's at tomorrow. Well, so who knows? We'll work it out.
Yeah. And this is just the first part of things that are going to be changing in user to user. There are other people with other tutorials that I am lining up, and by the September we should have at least 4 under our belt.
Oh, that's good.
If you're finished, we can go ahead and stop this broadcast and bring anybody in that wants to come up.
Okay, it works for me.
Okay, we will end the broadcast, and if anybody wants to end, just say so in the event thing, and we'll bring you in.
All right,
because
cool.
right now, I don't know who's out there.